Let's make another major scale, and this time let's do one that's maybe a little bit more challenging. Let's start on one of the black keys. Let's start on an E flat. And it may seem like it's a little bit more challenging if we start on an E flat, but actually the procedure that we're going to use is exactly the same. We're going to follow exactly the same steps. And it's important as you're doing this on your own, follow these steps, go step by step. Don't skip anything, because when you skip something, you're going to get yourself into trouble. So I'm going to start by writing my scale on the E flat that is directly above middle C. So I'm going to write my E flat on that first line of the treble clef. I know that I'm going to end on the E flat that is one octave above. So I'm going to go up to the top space of the staff, and I'm going to write an E flat up there. So I've got my starting note and my ending note, or I've got another way of thinking about this is I've got scale degree 1 and I've got scale degree 8. Now I'm going to follow the exact same procedure, because I know I'm going to start on an E, I'm going to end on an E, and I'm going to have at least one, or I'm going to have exactly one of each of the letter names. I'm going to have one E, except for my ending E. I'm going to have one F, one G, one A, one B, one C, one D, and then I'm going to come back to E. And again, I don't know if those are going to be E sharps, E flats, E naturals, but I know I'm going to have at least one of those letter names. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in each of those letters between E and E. So I'm going to fill in a note head on the F space, a note head on the G line, a note head on the A space, a note head on the B line, a note head on the C space, and a note head on the G line. And then I've got my E flat up on that last space. So let me just play what I've got here, just so we can hear how close or how far we are from a major scale. That sounds like it's not too close. So let's investigate our pattern of half steps and whole steps. All right. Between E flat and F, I have a whole step. Between F and G, I have a whole step. Between G and A, I have a whole step. Between A and B, I have a whole step. Between B and C, I have a half step. Between C and D, I have a half step. Between D and E flat, I have a half step. I'm sorry, between C and D, I have a whole step, is what I meant to say. There we go. Now notice something interesting. As far away as this sounds from a major scale, I actually have a lot of whole steps and half steps lined up with what they should be. Look at this. My whole steps between scale degree 1 and scale degree 2 are there. The whole step that I need between scale degree 2 and scale degree 3 is there. And then if we go to the very end here, the whole step that I need between scale degree 6 and scale degree 7 is there. And then the half step that I need between scale degree 7 and scale degree 8 is there. So I actually have, out of the 7 intervals that I need, 4 of them are actually correct. So what we want to do is we want to focus on these intervals in the middle. And almost always it's best to start from the lower intervals and work to the higher ones. So we want to start further in the beginning of the scale and work up rather than start up and work down. Okay, so let's look at the interval between scale degree 3 and scale degree 4. We have between 3 and 4, between G and A, we have a whole step, but what we want is a half step. So we have two options. We need to bring these two notes closer together. we can either raise the G to bring it closer to the A, or we can lower the A to bring it closer to the G. What happens if we raise the G? Let's make that G into a G sharp. Let's see what our ear tells us. I'm going to play this now. That definitely sounds further away. And look, we've not only does it sound wrong, but we've created this problem between scale degree 2 and scale degree 3. We've made an augmented second where we wanted a whole step. So that's no good. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of that sharp. And let's try the other solution. Let's lower the A flat to bring that A flat a little bit closer to the G. So let's play that. Hear what that sounds like. Okay, actually, the first 4 notes sound pretty good. Now, let's investigate the next interval we need, between 4 and 5. By the way, notice by making that A flat, that A into an A flat, we've now actually increased this whole step. It's no longer a whole step. It's now A flat to B is an augmented second, and we definitely do not want an augmented second there. We want a whole step. So it looks like we just created a new problem. But let's see if we can solve this problem. And what we want to do is we want to move scale degree 5. We don't want to touch anything we've worked on up to this point. Once we've fixed 4, we want to keep that right where it is, because again, we're moving this way. We're moving up the scale. We're moving the bottom to the top. So we want to bring scale degree 5. We don't want to move 4. We want to move scale degree 5 1/2 step closer to scale degree 4, because we have an augmented second and we want to create a whole step. So we're going to move that B down to a B flat. All right. And notice, by the way, what happens if I play those first 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That sounds pretty good. And notice, by the way, by fixing the problem between scale degree 4 and 5, by making that augmented second into a whole step, we've just solved the problem that was happening between 5 and 6, where we needed a half step, but we wanted a whole step. I'm sorry, we have a half step, but we needed a whole step. Notice, by moving that B to a B flat, we've increased the distance between scale degree 5 and scale degree 6. So now we no longer have a whole step. We no longer have a half step. We have a whole step. And now look at this. All of our half steps and whole steps line up. And I forgot to correct this. So I'm going to do that. It's a half step. Look at this. Whole, whole, half. Whole, 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 half. And the proof will be when we play it. And that is a major scale. Again, as you're working on this on your own, do not skip any steps. Go through the exact procedure that I'm giving you here and make sure that you work from bottom to top. Don't start calculating intervals from the top to the bottom, or you're going to get yourself into trouble, at least for now. Good luck.